Now let's talk about basics of getting our horse tacked up. He's groomed, he's in the cross ties, and we're gonna get him ready for a ride. So we need to get the saddle on and the bridle on, and then we're ready to go. So I have a saddle pad. I like mine because it has my name on it, and this is a good tip. You wanna make sure you label everything so that it doesn't get lost. So I like to write my name with a Sharpie on my brushes. I like to have my name monogrammed on my saddle pad. I have a tag on my saddle and on my bridle, also on my girth. My halter has my horse's name on it, and some people even have a tag on their lead rope. So that's the tip of the day. We're gonna take the saddle pad and we're gonna come onto the left side of the horse. So the horse is on my right side, I'm on his left side, and I'm gonna gently put the saddle pad on his back. The next thing I'm gonna do is get the saddle, and I'm gonna gently put the saddle up on his back. Good boy, you're okay, good boy. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up the saddle pads up into the gullet or the front of the pommel and get it off of his back. And I'm gonna attach the girth. So I put the girth on the first and third billet, just on the first hole. And then I carefully go underneath, and I'm going to attach the girth on this side to the first and third hole. It's okay, good boy. Now here's a tip. Don't tighten your girth right now, right? You just got the saddle on, just keep it kind of loose for now. And then after we get them out of the cross ties, we can tighten it again. If you tighten the girth real tight, it would be like tightening your belts really tight. It can make the horse a little uncomfortable. So you don't want to tighten the girth too much when you first put the saddle on. Otherwise, your horse is going to start pinning his ears and having reactions when he's getting ready because he doesn't want you to tighten the girth too much. So take your time and tighten the girth slowly. Take your time with the girth and tighten your girth slowly. So we've got the saddle on our horse's back, and we know it's in the right spot. It's forward on his back. And now we're going to put the bridle on. All right, so how do we do this? Personally, I like to undo both of the cross ties. Some people like to leave one cross tie attached. Personally, for me, I feel like it's safer if I untie both cross ties. The next thing I do is I put the reins up over the horse's head, over both ears. So now my horse, I have him by the neck, right, with the reins. So if he were to get spooked, I could hopefully control him a little bit. So I'm going to unhook the halter, unclip the piece, and then gently take it up over his ears. And for me, some people throw the halter on the ground. I don't like to do that. I like to keep the halter off the ground. Keep your equipment on your shoulder, like a purse. Then I like to take the nose band and I hold it with the crown piece. The brow band is facing forward. And I'm going to hold the bit as if it were an apple or a treat. And I'm gently going to feed it to the horse. So I gently put the bit against his teeth, and then he should open his mouth for you. Now, if your horse doesn't open his mouth, a trick is to put your finger up in here and just gently encourage him to open his mouth. Then I'm going to put the nose band down and gently put the crown piece over both of his ears. Organize his forelock, lift the brow band. Now we have to organize the nose band. So the nose band, you want to put it underneath the cheek piece, right? So I see a lot of beginner riders accidentally attaching the nose band over the cheek piece, and then it's kind of hard to steer with the reins. So make sure your nose band is underneath the cheek piece on both sides. And now we're going to attach the nose band. You don't want it to be too tight, especially if you're a beginner rider. You can have this a little bit loose. And then you're going to attach, are you saying hi? The throat latch. And you also don't want this to be too tight. So the rule of thumb is 4 fingers or a fist here underneath the throat latch. And then you want to put in all the keepers. Very important that all your keepers in. And then for the nose band, you also want to put the keepers in. And I like to have 2 fingers on nose band. So some people have it really cranked tight. I want my horse to be comfortable, right? So 2 fingers. You also want to have 2 fingers underneath this cheekbone piece to the noseband. So this noseband is too high. So I'm gently going to undo the noseband and make it a little bit lower so it fits the horse a little better. There, so it should have 2 fingers from his cheek piece to the nose, and then 2 fingers here and 4 fingers here. And then you're going to reattach this cheek piece. And then you want to make sure the brow band is straight across and the nose band is straight across. That's really important. All the cheek pieces are in. To check the bit, there should be 2 little wrinkles by his mouth, but you don't want the bit to be too tight or too high in his mouth and or too low, right? So it should just have a nice gentle smile. All right, so what do I do with my halter? I'm going to put this on the bridle rack here. For later, when I come back, it's in a safe place. If someone else uses the cross ties, my halter is not on the ground in their way. I take the reins up over his head. I'm going to get my gloves. I'm going to retighten my girth when we get closer to the mounting block because the girth is nice and loose now. Remember, I'm always trying to make my horse as comfortable and happy as possible. All right, so we groomed our horse, we got him tacked up, and now I'm going to show you how to mount, how to get on your horse using the mounting block, and then we'll go for a ride.